This is The Fitting Lab, an EVE Online ship fitting video series. Today, we're discussing the Gallente Navy's tried and tested, wildly popular combat frigate. They float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. It's the Federation Navy Comet. What's going on YouTube? It's James Long here, aka Captain Ace Rico, and welcome back to the Fitting Lab. On the show today, once again I do have a guest with me, and once again it is one of my former CEOs. Today it is Stay Frosty CEO, Rixx JAVIX. Rixx mate, thanks for coming on.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
No worries mate, I'm very happy to have you here. Rixx has got a bit of knowledge when it comes to comets. He's been flying comets for a long time, longer than I've been playing this game. He's wrote blogs on comets. He's got, is it over 800 kills in comets now, Rixx?
Yeah, about 800, I think. I haven't really added it up, but I think it's about 800. Yeah.
I think you can check it if you go to like the top thing on your Z kill board. You can see how many kills you've got with them. But
I don't like to look at my kill board.
Yeah, it's good not to be too kill board focused, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
If you guys are looking for like extra EVE content and stuff as well, and you like the sound of Rixx's voice as much as I do, you do a podcast, right, Rixx? The After Hours podcast with Rixx JAVIX?
Yeah, it's on. It's been on hiatus for the Alliance tournament and everything, but starting to get the itch back, so it should be coming back here in a month or so. Okay, awesome. Well, I'll link all of Rixx's stuff in the description of this video, so Rixx he does a podcast occasionally. He's got also a blog with like some artwork on it and some general EVE Online kind of posts, that sort of thing, right, Rixx? Yeah, I dabble. Yeah, a lot. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah. Fighting Warcore stabs mostly. But,
I've used some of your Fighting Warcore stabs artwork in videos before, actually.
Oh, awesome! That's great. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, sweet. Oh well, should we get on with talking about comets here?
Yeah, my favorite ship, next to the Daredevil, but yes, my second favorite ship.
Ah, okay, you don't mind a Daredevil. That's good to know.
I love Daredevils. Comets are great. Yeah,
I mean, Comet. It's probably one of the most used factional warfare ships for sure. Just generally an all-round strong ship. Great tank, good speed. DPS with blasters or rails. It's fantastic. Let's start with the traits as always for the Comet. So pretty standard here. You've just got a weapon bonus. So we have a 7.5 bonus to small hybrid turret tracking speed, which actually does help. Sometimes tracking even on blasters, you can use a bit of help with the tracking. Obviously, we talked about that with like the Atron, where the blaster Atron can use a bit of help with the tracking there. So a tracking bonus here does help. And then of course we have a 20% flat bonus to hybrid turret damage. So you are getting a damage bonus from your hull there with the Comet as well. In terms of fitting for the Comet, you've got 3 high slots with 2 turret hardpoints. So you will see the odd Comet or 2 that will have a Newt or a Nosferatu. 3 mids, pretty standard there, and then 4 lows and 3 rigs. A pretty flexible layout for the Comet, but again with 3 mid slots, it's flexible enough, but it doesn't give you huge options for E-War and stuff there. You can be a bit creative though and get different things going. That's the basic thing there. So Rixx. Rixx and I have got 3 things for you, 3 basic key principles that you should keep in your mind when fitting a Comet. Rixx, do you want to start us off with the 3 things that you've got for people that they should keep in their mind when they're fitting a Comet?
Yeah, so like you said, you're basically stuck with hybrid turrets, either rails or blasters. So that's kind of taking that out of the picture. But after you've decided which weapon system you want to go with, there really are three things to keep in mind: is how are you going to tank, and how are you going to augment the damage, right? So tank it on a Comet. I mean, again, we're talking about 3 mids and 4 lows. So you're not going to shield tank the thing. So it's always about how am I going to increase my chances of survivability, because most of the people you're going to be fighting are either going to be in Comets or other frigs. They're going to want to kill you. So you want to try to maximize the ability for the ship to stay alive, and that's going to be some form of armor or hull tanking, and then mobility. So you don't want to put a micro warp drive on a Comet, and not in low sec anyway. And certainly, I do know some people who do pretty well with blaster Comet rail micro warp drive fits, but I would say that's sort of very advanced. You should probably stick to afterburner.
Yeah, it's a difficult flying style for sure, especially with a Comet.
Yeah, once you get scrammed, I mean, you're dead. So it's very difficult to stay out of scram range with a micro warp drive. But a lot of people go after kiting Tristans with those and have some success with that. But so those are really the principles that are most important on a Comet. One of the reasons I love the Comet so much is because of how simple it is, how cheap it is to fit. It's not, you don't really need to bling it in order for it to be successful.
Yeah.
It has a very wide range of engagement, so you can engage a wide range of targets. A little less than it used to because of some of the Tech 3 destroyers and some of the other things that have changed over the years. We used to, back when right after the Dramiel buff nerf, the Comet became sort of the go-to ship, and I can remember soloing Vexors a lot in faction warfare. You don't really do that as much now. There's been some changes, with hull tanks and other mods that have kind of changed that. But it's a very versatile ship. It's pretty easy to fit. The principles, but even saying that, there's a lot of variation. I think we're going to talk about some of this with some of the fits today in the types of mods that you use, whether you go with meta or Tech 2, and then that opens up some options for you. And then the great versatility for it is in the 3 rigs. So there are a lot of ways to go, and a lot of schools of thought on how what the best rig combination is for a Comet. But we could talk about that too as we go through the different fits. But so those are really, I think, basically the principles behind it. You want to do as much damage as possible, survive for as long as you want, and keep moving.
Yeah, awesome. I don't know that I've got hugely heaps to add on to what you said there, other than just to say, remember with the Comet that it's a Gallente ship. It does have the Gallente hull bonus, that means. So you've got a little bit of extra hull there, and it gives you options to, there's no fits that I've really seen where you can purely hull tank a Comet. It is kind of hard to purely hull tank a frigate because you just generally don't have enough slots available to get, the tank in the low slots there. So, but you can use that hull bonus to give you a little bit of extra bleed in an armor rep or something like that. And just generally, the Comet it's a very good all-round ship. It does a lot of things good. It has great speed. Well, it doesn't have outstanding speed, but it's still very quick. It has really good tank, actually. Really, really decent tank. You can get 7, almost 8k tank total out of a Comet. And then it has great DPS as well. So it just does everything really pretty great, like Rick said, and it's easy, it's cheap to fit. You can fight many different things with it. So just a really great all-round factional warfare ship.
And again, it's not super expensive to fit it,
Yeah,
like armor or something.
It's definitely not like a blingy pirate frig, and then you can kill like blingy pirate frigs with a Comet because it's a very, very, very strong ship.
Exactly.
Alrighty, let's go to the fits that we've got here. So
and just the one other caveat, it looks super great in the police skin too.
Oh yeah,
that helps.
Yeah, the police skin is
is awesome,
and it's fun. You see lots of people like role playing like a police gang all flying around with their police skins, and they'll yell in local and stuff. It looks like a lot of fun flying there.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret. I name all of my police skin Comets after TV detectives. So the one I'm looking at now is called Columbo. It's just a little thing, it's kind of cool.
Awesome. I'm not sure I know who Columbo is, but
yeah, he was a TV detective in the 70s. Yeah.
Ah, righto. Sweet. Yeah. The Comet skin, the police skin, does look super cool, actually, with the flashing lights and stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, that used to be a separate ship for a while. The police pursuit Comet was a whole separate ship.
Oh, okay. Kind of like the Stratios, the Rescue Stratios or whatever.
Yeah, it was before they came out with skins.
Yeah, right.
So when they came out with skins, they eliminated the police pursuit Comet. So, but yeah, it used to be a separate ship.
It makes more sense with skins, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, shall we talk about the Rail Comet, Rixx? So your Rail Comet there. Should we get into that?
So yeah, let's do it. So this is what I refer to as a baseline fit. Baseline fits are fits that I start out with whenever I fit a ship. There are fits that I'm super comfortable with. It's been time tested. Like our host said, I have a lot of kills in this thing, and this is where I start. Depending on how I feel when I'm fitting it up, I may change a few things. But this is basically, I can throw this together really quick if I need a ship and undock it in a few minutes, because I keep all the fits ready to go. So if I don't have a Comet currently, I can throw this thing together. So essentially, what it boils down to is two 150 rails in the highs.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, and then what you're going to do in the lows is the same thing every time. It's going to be propulsion, web, and point. And the point's either going to be a long point, like a disruptor, or a scram. Most of the time in low sec, if you're plex diving, you're going to want a scram.
Yeah.
But again, that's up to you. So just to clarify too, when we talk about railguns, a lot of people will assume that we're talking about kiting. What we're talking about with the Comet is what we call scram kiting. So we're going to kite the target within scram range, but right at the edge of it.
Mm.
So you're going to be, kiting at around 7,500 to 8,000, depending on whether you're overheating or not and who you're fighting. But so that's a scram kite. We're going to be kiting right at the edge. If you do go with the disruptor, then you're not getting the benefit of the web, but so that's an envelope of where you're going to engage. So it depends on your target. I know a lot of guys who will carry a disruptor and in their cargo hold and switch out sometimes.
You mean
so then in the low?
You mean to fit a point and a scram instead of point web?
Yeah. So they'll say you go into a system and you see a Tristan that you want to, and you're pretty sure he's a kiting Tristan.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You can switch out the long point.
Mm-hmm.
In order to keep him from running away from you. And then in the lows, you've got 4 lows. So you're definitely going to do a damage control module. Now, whether that's a meta or not, in this particular case, it's not. But if you do go meta, and then you can save some grid, and then maybe get a small NOS or a small newt in the high slot. But I prefer to go with the more tank. And then 2 mag stabs for DPS. But you can also do 1 mag stab and a tracking enhancer if you're concerned about that, or if your skills are a little bit on the lesser side. So, especially with rails, you want your tracking to be as good as humanly possible. So if you got a little less on the skills for like rail specs, skills, if you've only got a 1 or a 2, you might want to throw a tracking enhancer in there. And then the ancillary rep, that's a must. I really don't know a whole lot of ways to fit a Comet without the ancillary rep. You really want that power. And then, now with the hold rigs being Tech 2s being so cheap, I just go three transverse bulkhead rigs in the rig slots for that extra buffer.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times that's saved my life where I've completely run out, and it's just overheating and bashing each other to death, and the whole rig saved my life.
Yeah, this is a great little Comet fit, and I like for solo and stuff. I do feel like the Rail Comet is a lot better. Being able to hopefully stay out of like extreme damage from brawling setups and stuff. And yeah, like Rick said, you're looking to fight at around 8 or 9k. You're definitely loading antimatter with the rails predominantly. Some of the other ammo types that you could maybe look at carrying, I think I've got some in the cargo here, so you could carry iron as well. Iron will let you hit out to, I think it's going to be, let me actually check how long it will let you hit to. I think it's about 28k though, but it gives you extra tracking as compared to spike. Okay, yep. So yeah, optimal 28, so it'll let you hit to 28k and just gives you a little bit of extra tracking, which can help if you're just trying to push off a kiting ship or something. Sometimes spike won't actually hit for you quite nicely, so you want the extra tracking there from iron. So yeah, that's something that I like to carry as well. You could also consider carrying like uranium and tungsten, which will give you like 16k-ish optimal. So that's kind of, yeah, if you're fighting something or fighting a gang or something and trying to keep away from them and just constantly burning away, it could be an ammo type that you could use, and it's one that you'll use a lot more with the next fit that we'll take a look at, I think.
Yeah.
Is that
exactly?
Is that pretty much? Is that pretty much this Comet summed up? You reckon?
Yeah. One more thing I wanted to bring up too is the drone bay.
Yep.
You've got 6 drones, really 6 light drones, and the choice there is, and again, you could carry drones in your cargo to switch out because damage type is kind of important. Again, if you're depends on who you're fighting. I know sometimes I'll carry 3 warriors and 3 hobs. Just depends, because that gives me a little bit of I could choose the damage type that's going against the target that I'm fighting. But then you know, if they kill those, you're in trouble. But yeah, it gives you a nice little versatility. It's a nice little drone base. 6 drones is not bad. That's 2 flights, so that's pretty nice. And those drones do, pretty good damage.
Yeah, don't underestimate the damage that your drones do for a Comet. You'll even see people who are blinging their Comets carrying augmented drones. That's how much extra the drone DPS is. I mean, I don't know if there's a good way. Can you look in Python how much the drone DPS is exactly there?
It's about, on the one I'm looking at in game, it's about 60 DPS.
Yeah, so 60 DPS. That's actually like a massive, it's a massive extra boost of DPS there. Like for a rail Comet, that's almost half its DPS added on top of itself again, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, it turns it almost 300 DPS altogether, all in, overheated and everything. You can get about 325 DPS out of your rails and the drones if you're overheating your rails. So that's pretty impressive.
And just also with this rail Comet, another thing I'll add is if you meta your mag stabs, so if you use the meta mag stabs, which are easier to fit, then you can fit a gremlin newt on this, so a small newt, the compact newt. If I feel like that's probably a pretty good way to go. You don't lose too much DPS from going to the meta stabs, and then you have the newt power there, so if something catches you, if something gets close to you, you can maybe newt it out. Also, fighting things like hookbills, which me and Rixx talked about a bit before the podcast, about getting into fighting hookbills and stuff. And yeah, I feel like a newt could really help you with a hookbill to maybe keep him away from you a bit, or if the hookbill's quite low on tank and he runs, sometimes with a hookbill, if you accidentally run your MSAB without the charge in it, then you'll really just nerf all your cap, and then a newt could really just kill a hookbill off in that situation. But let's go and take a look at the other rail Comet we've got here. So this is a variation on the rail Comet. With this one here, we're looking to do that weird AB kite thing again. So it's quite similar to an Atron fit, which I showed the other day. Let's load, what are we loading with this? Probably uranium or something. Uranium or tungsten is probably what I want. So uranium, we can hit out to 20 kilometers optimal. And we're getting about 170 DPS there, which is still pretty damn nice. And
that's nice.
it's like my idea with this Comet is I kind of feel like the standard rail Comet, it does a lot of things very well, but it doesn't do, like, it doesn't have dual web like a hook bill does, for example. There's a few fights that I feel like you're going to lose with the standard rail Comet, but with this one here, you're looking to try and fight at like literally around 18-20 kilometers, that sort of thing. Keep your web hot again as usual. If people do get close to you, you smash the web on them to try and keep them away. And yeah, this is like another one of those A-B kite kind of things. But unlike the Atron, you've actually got quite a bit of tank with this one. So all up with this, I can't remember how much you have all up with this, but you can see you've got already 5k base tank there, and then your Ancil rep is going to add in. Is that something you can check, Rixx? How much does an Ancil rep on a Comet add all up?
Looking at about 35 hit points per second rep power on a small Ancil rig loaded with nanite.
Yeah, right.
So it's 156 hit points every 4.5 seconds.
Yeah, so it's going to add a hot Ancil rep on a Comet will add 2.72k of tanks. So you're looking at there, about 6k, pretty much 7k tanks still with this Comet. So still a crazy tank, but also you're going to be staying away from a lot of DPS, a lot of things DPS, because you can hit out so far with your railguns there. And in the rigs here, it's just all locus coordinators, so just giving you extra optimal range on your guns there, so you can really stay away from things. And yeah, hopefully get that weird A-B kitey sort of thing going, which can work quite well with the Comet. It is quite a fast ship. Hot, you can see we go 16k. Cold, we're going 12k here. So a pretty rapid little A-B ship. Not as fast as the Atron, but then you've got the tank there. So if you do mess up a bit, you've still got that buffer to play with. And you do have a web, so you can still pull range on really most things. And unlike most kiting ships, you don't have to worry about your prop suddenly not working if you get scrammed or something. So yeah, not a bad little way to practice kiting, I suppose. And to kite in factional warfare particularly. Rixx, shall we do Blaster Comet?
Yeah, I'm just trying to hold on just a second.
Yep, no worries.
Absolutely, blasters. I'm trying to fit. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing, and this is one of those like fits that everybody loves because they look so great on paper. So and the Blaster Comet is a great ship. It does a tremendous amount of DPS. We're talking about well over 300 DPS on most ammo types, even antimatter or faction antimatter, void. You're doing 345-ish DPS with void. Right at 300 with Canary antimatter or Federation Navy antimatter, and that's cold. That's not even overheated. So the DPS it puts out a lot of DPS. Again, your engagement range is a lot lower than it is with the rails, and you've got the other side of those things, which is you're going to die if you get kited by a slicer or something. Because essentially you're locked into that same 3-4 configuration for mids and lows. So not much you can do about that, unless you're you're specifically going to go after those types of ships. But once you get scrammed, shut down your micro warp drive, then you really got to go AB. So as you said, the Comet's pretty fast, but it's not super fast. So you're not going to catch a micro warp driving slicer or someone. That's really the Comet, the blaster. So when I fit that, I try to go max DPS and might as well go all in on the DPS. And I use all DPS rigs in that one, and I typically go with plate, resist plate in the low. Same configuration as before, where you go with a mag stab, a damage control, and then a rep. And either use like an adaptive nano plate or even just go with the 200 actual metal plate.
For like a little micro gang ship or something, just to give a bit of extra tank. Is that sort of what you're thinking there, or?
Yeah, typically if I'm going to fly the Blaster Comet, flying that with a wingman, or at least two, me and another guy, or maybe three of us. It's a great like small gang ship.
Exactly. Once you add one or two extra Blaster Comets into a gang, then that's where the Blaster Comet really starts to shine, because you've then really got you've then got three, 2 or 3 webs, and you can start to really get on top of things and just pile that Blaster DPS onto them.
Yeah, I love 2 Blaster Comets and a Tristan, for example, because and fit the Tristan micro warp drive. So then 2 AB Comets and a micro warp drive Tristan, man, that's a tough combination to beat, because you go in, you bait the target starts to pull range, you bring the Tristan in, the Tristan burns them down, gets them pointed, and everybody kills them. So it's a nice combination. There are other combinations too, but yeah, I think the Blaster Comet's awesome, and I'm not opposed to it. It's just hard for a solo ship.
Yeah,
there's so many things that can kill you.
You just kind of need to pick your fights, I guess, with the Blaster Comet.
Yeah, you have to be smart. Your engagement window is much smaller than it is with the rail. It can be done. Obviously, there are certain types of ships that you're just going to own, and it feels. I really like flying brawling ships, because I think the feeling of victory when you win in a brawl is just so much better.
Yeah, and having a lot of DPS is always nice, isn't it?
It's always nice going toe to toe with somebody and overheating all your mods and just being down to 20% structure when you win. It's just awesome. There's very few things that feel quite as good, satisfying as that. But yeah, it's the same problem with the Blaster Daredevil, for example, or rocket ships in particular. You just have to be very careful about what you're engaging and what you're going up against. Just be smart.
I noticed with the rigs there as well, you've got a Metastasis adjuster, which is the tracking rig, and then you've got the ambit extension there on the rigs there. So yeah, ambit extension to give a little bit of extra fall off, because blasters, obviously, they can hit reasonably okay in fall off, and if you're adding a locus coordinator in there, which gives the optimal range bonus, you don't really get any extra optimal range out of it. I mean, a little bit, but not really enough to make it a thing, right?
Right. It's not worth it.
And you do feel that it can use a bit of extra help with the tracking there, with the tracking rig, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You want max tracking. I mean, the tracking on the blasters here is like, I think it's 652.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty darn good with that's with the rig and the mag stab and the low.
Yep.
That's insane tracking. So yeah, you're not going to have a problem hitting just about anything.
Okay. Yeah.
And because that's another misnomer too. We could say it has 345 DPS or 320 or whatever.
But is it being applied exactly?
The applied DPS, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing that young players or people who are just starting out doing this need to remember. The only DPS that matters is what's hitting the other ship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's 100% where the tracking rig comes in there.
Right. It's the same mistake a lot of people make with EHP. They think that's their full tank, and it's really not. It's a little bit of a misnomer. You got to watch that. Understand what those numbers really mean.
Exactly. Is that everything that we've got to say about the Blaster Comet there, Rixx?
Yeah, I think it's enough. I think we spend a lot of time on the rail Comet because that's kind of the general rule of thumb, especially in low sec these days. The Blaster Comet's great, but it's kind of a niche ship, really. And you get it.
Yeah, and just like we said, like the main thing is it works fantastic in a gang. So if you've got 2 or 3 mates who you can fly with, Blaster Comets, throw them together. You can't really go too wrong. You all just dive into plexes and approach things, and things die.
Yeah, exactly. And one of you can give up a web and put a target disruptor or tracking disruptor in the mid. That's pretty awesome.
That's a good.
There are a lot of you don't all have to fit the same mids. You can kind of mix it up a little and get some control mods in there.
Yeah, really think about your gang as being one ship, so you don't necessarily need. I mean, maybe you want 2 scrams. Maybe it depends. If you're worried about things getting away, or if you're not always going to be together and stuff like that. But yeah,
Right.
generally as a gang, you can think of yourself as one ship, and then, okay, we've now got 9 mids. What can we add in here?
Exactly. There's no reason to necessarily duplicate everything. If somebody might want to, do the tracking disrupting thing.
Exactly.
Or throw drone augmenters in the highs. I've seen that too.
Yeah. Okay. Righto.
To get throw some augmented hobgoblins and turn it into a drone ship. It's insane.
Just generally, yeah. The Comet's a great all-round ship. Good tank, good speed, good DPS, like we said, and yeah. We've talked about all the differences there with the rails. The rails can touch out a bit further. And then the blasters, yeah, if you can get on top of things, you can definitely make all the things die. Yeah. Rixx, mate, thanks for coming on the Fitting Lab. It's been good having you here.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, anytime you want to talk about another ship, I know I'd be happy to come back. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, mate, I'd love to have you on again sometime. I think I heard the Daredevil being mentioned there. That's definitely something we could talk about.
Yeah, awesome. One of my favorite ship in all of Eve.
Fantastic. And thank you guys very much for watching. And from myself and Rixx JAVIX, remember, as always, fly dangerous.